Welcome to the Give Me Liberty podcast of the Standing for Freedom Center at Liberty University, where we defend life, liberty, and truth to ensure the foundations of freedom exist for the next generation. And I am joined by Texas State Representative Shawn Thierry. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's an honor. And you have a rather big announcement today for the Moms for Liberty Summit. That's where we're at right now in Washington, D.C. You have fought very hard for children in the state of Texas. And so I just wanted to, I'm fascinated by your story. I'm thankful, so thankful for your courage. But tell us a little bit about why you're here.
Thank you for having me. I'll say that again. This has just happened. It's really just been a journey, and I like to call it a faith walk. Last year, over a year, well, actually a year and a half, I was confronted with an issue as a member of the Texas legislature. We had to decide what is the appropriate age for a child to have a sex change, which is really a kind of a, this is something you wouldn't think would even be a question, correct? Why would a child be doing something like that? But it was happening. We found out that there were girls as young as 12 and 13 getting double mastectomies because they believed that they were born in the wrong body, or that people were telling them that they were born in the wrong body. Boys mutilating their genitals, putting kids as young as 8 years old on puberty blockers, giving kids cross-sex hormones, Lupron, which is a prostate cancer drug, a chemotherapy drug for grown men. They were giving that to kids that do not have cancer. It's also a chemical castration drug that we give violent sex offenders. So the issue was, we were confronted with that issue. And the only bill before us was to say, at minimum, they should be 18. Thought that was common sense. So I supported that. However, in this world of partisan politics and vitriol where people put politics over the well-being of children, my House colleagues, Democratic colleagues, said, no, we're going to have to oppose that bill, and we want no age. Meaning without the bill, you could be 7, you could be 8. And I just said, I can't support that. How could anyone in good conscience accept that? So I voted with my Republican colleagues on that bill because, and like I say, I just voted on the side of right. Yeah. They're like, it's an R bill. I go, well, then this stands for right. It's not about Republican. This is about what's right. And I kept telling people, if you just erase the name of the author on the bill, and if you were not worried about being reelected, how would you feel? How would you vote? And people honestly told me privately they agree, colleagues, but that they were afraid. So I gave a speech on the House floor about it with the intention to explain, educate, enlighten the issue, and out of compassion, saying we love our children. We want to teach them to love themselves, not self-hate. And we want to guide them during a vulnerable time of their lives to accept who they are. And when I finished that speech, my life changed. Mm-hmm. I started getting hate mail, Twitter memes with bloody hands and just personal attacks. But bigger than that, the Democratic machine came after me, even though I was a cliche card-carrying Democrat. I'd never voted Republican all my life. My parents were Democrats because I'm the daughter of a teacher. My dad worked for the city of Houston. And they're just good people who believed that the party was a party of poor people. This party, they wouldn't recognize it right now. So I'll say that the radical progressives raised a ton of money. They went and found someone to run against me to primary me and propped her up. And she identifies, as she says, as a dual identity queer Black woman, even though she's married with 2 kids. But that's her label. And they supported her. And so, but bigger than that, again, taking the politics away, they continue to promote these policies that sexualize children. Yeah. I cannot figure out who's behind it, why they're doing it. But I made a decision, and I announced it today, that I am leaving the left. Well, I guess by now, or the time it is, I've left the left. Yeah. I've left because I cannot be a part of a party any longer that puts radical ideologies over the well-being of children and women. You know, a party that believes that men, biological men, should be placed in women's correctional facilities and prisons where women are being raped and impregnated by biological men. I never thought we'd be even addressing these issues. So it's the gaslighting of America by the radical progressives that I've said I cannot be a part of.
So you're looking for a university that's perfect for you, a school that has anything you could possibly need.
Anything?
You want a place that has the programs you want to study, and maybe a few more, just in case you change your mind.
I think I'm going to sign up for the fashion design program.
All right. A place with state-of-the-art facilities. I mean, look at this campus.
And who doesn't love big-time sports?
And great recreational activities.
Okay, now we're on a roll. Somewhere you can hike, slide, strike, shoot, climb, eat, and most importantly, eat. You want a place that takes you to space? Okay, maybe not, but we can teach you how to fly, or pastor a church, or run a business. And all that with a great view? Yeah, I think I know a place.
Yeah, it takes courage now more than ever. You think about people being canceled, people being censored, people losing their jobs. I mean, there's all kinds of ways in which public pressure is put on individuals. I love what you said. You know, I don't know what's fueling this. I don't know who's behind this. It seems diabolical that you would take, anyone would take children, 10, 11, 12, and put them through this. Children need to be guided. They don't quite understand emotionally, physically, mentally who they are. I heard it said the other day, kind of a funny observation, but somebody who has a vegan dog there's not much difference between somebody who has a vegan dog and somebody who has a trans child. We know who made the decision.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
It's not the dog. It's parents and others. Yeah.
Yeah. When you hear a 6-year-old saying that they're non-binary, you know that that's not natural vocabulary.
No.
For a 6-year-old, who told you that? It is an agenda. And it is harmful and it's hurtful to children. It is confusing them. It is making them permanent medical patients for the rest of their lives. And so that, along with so many other issues, putting pornographic materials in schools, pushing that agenda. I also voted for a bill that simply put a label on the books that said sexually explicit or sexually relevant. They were angry about that. I mean, books that, mind you, when I handed them to some of my colleagues on the Democrat side of the aisle and said, read this out loud. And they looked at it and they're like, I can't say that. I can't read that. I said, why? They're like, that's obscene. That's filthy. Oh, but you want my child to read it and your child, anyone else's? You're a grown man and you can't even say it.
Yeah.
Why would you want this? Why would you want to destroy children's innocence? And you made a point. It is the best time of their lives. They're supposed to imagine and want to be all sort of things. That's what a childhood is. And so my position now and the platform that I'm going to use and the position I'm going to take is that we have got to stop the adulting of children in this country. It's like adulterizing, sexualizing, adulterizing. Either they're children or they're not. And it's simply that. So as a mom, and right here at Moms for Liberty, I'm happy to be here. And I'm going to continue to use my voice to protect little children. They cannot. I mean, they are being treated like the least of these, the least, the last, the lost. This is horrible.
These are the times in which, when you look at the Gospel of Matthew, it's like a millstone being put right on a child's neck, right, in the name of affirmation or inclusion or whatever. This trans movement is a kind of a millstone movement. The other I'm reminded of right out of Genesis chapter 3, the Lord said to Adam and Eve, "Who told you that you were naked?" And I think this moment is like you're asking people, "Who told you that you were trans?" Right? So it really is fascinating. We're facing evil, and it's so manifestly obvious, and we do have to be courageous. And I really appreciate so much your stance, using your platform, using your voice. It takes courage to do that. It's not easy to do that. It takes courage to step out, to step up. But it's also one of those things that I'm so encouraged that we're not alone. Right. I think it's good to be reminded of that. Some people might feel that way, maybe in their place of employment, or maybe they are in office, public office, and whatever it is that they started doing is now not what they're doing today because of what has happened. We don't choose the times that we're born in.
That's right. And it's so interesting what you're saying about not being alone, because I felt, because this has been about a year and a half, I've felt that way. But that's why I said it's been a faith walk. This has brought me closer to God. I've always been a woman of faith and a Christian, but I realize I'm not alone. God is making provision for me every day because I am doing what is righteous. And there's always going to be persecution against the righteous. But he is with me every step of the way. I've met wonderful people that have said, "We're with you, Ms. Thierry." And so I made a commitment to myself when I was sworn in 7.5 years ago, that I would never let my dad asked me not to do this, and his words were, "Don't ever let the power and the prestige of the position cause you to sell your soul." He said that exactly like that. May he rest in peace. And I haven't, and I won't. There are those that deeply believe, just like you and I, that it is wrong, all of these agendas against children, but they're not willing to display courage under fire. Yeah. And yes, we are under fire, but God is with us through that fiery furnace. And I know that we can come out on the other side if we just stand together and be brave. I will say I never thought that this would be a brave stance to take, that a child shouldn't have their body parts cut off, healthy body parts.
Yeah. Insane.
Yeah, we're amputating parts off children. And even in the Black community, we've always tried to promote loving the image, loving the skin you're in, not trying to be something that you're not, teaching self-acceptance, not self-hate. And now all of a sudden, the Democrat Party is running almost like this underground movement to push this, and not openly telling African Americans that primarily support the party, and like in my district, they're not openly saying this is what we believe in. That yes, we want to castrate your sons. Yes, we're willing to sterilize African American girls by stopping them from having a menstrual cycle, which will make them sterile. That's barbaric, and it needs to be talked about. I'm here to talk about it. I don't think me sharing that it's happening is radical. It's the fact that they're doing it is radical.
Yeah.
But the gaslighting, it's done the other way around. To say, "Oh, she's so radical." No, the people doing this are radical. Yeah. And so I'm just here to say I won't be a part of that. So I'm leaving the left and going with a party that values women and children and parents, and knowing that we want to protect our families. And so that's where I am.
Amen. Amen. I love the wisdom of your father. I mean, God bless him for imparting those words. Don't ever sell your soul. What does it profit a man if he gains the world, yet forfeits his soul? And I think that's a good word to leave on. Thank you so much, Shawn Thierry, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, did you find this helpful? I hope you did. Please like and subscribe, share with a friend, and also go to standingforfreedom.com, where you can find more content, articles, podcasts, and our Theology of Politics series, all at standingforfreedom.com.